Hey everyone, Master Piper here, and this video is to go over how to play Grand Archive on the Untap.in client. To be clear, this video is not how to play the Grand Archive card game. Many of the content creators within the Grand Archive community, including my good friends over at the Maindeck Channel, have actually detailed on how to do this. So I do encourage you to check out their video. The link will be in the description. This video is more of how to actually play Untap, Grand Archive on the Untap client. And there's a lot of really big advantages playing on the Untap.in client. One of them being is play testing cards, spoilers that are coming out for the next set. Not to mention being able to play people all over the world, right at home, right on your computer, or even downloading this for your Android or the Apple client. I believe the Apple client has it. But there are tons of people that are playing all over the world, tons of different card games, not just Grand Archive. And this is just a really simple way to play those games, and a lot of really neat features. You'll see right now I've got a bunch of different decks created for different card games. But right now this video is going to focus on the Grand Archive card game. So all you would do is first download Untap.in. You don't even got to download it. You can do it through your browser, but you can put it on your phone or tablet. But all you'll do is once you go to Untap.in, just like that, right in the browser, Untap, UNTAPE.in, all you're going to do is you're going to click Create Deck. And then what you'll do is when you click Create Deck, you're going to go down to the card game and you will see Grand Archive. And then you just click on Grand Archive to create your deck. Now, I'm going to look at a deck that I've already created. This is my Rye Fire deck, so we'll bring that up. And literally all you need to do is you just need to search for the card that you want to add to your deck. So, for example, if we're going to look for Arcane card, we'll just go to Arcane and click that, and then we will see a list of various cards that you can add to the deck. All you'll do is you're just going to click the card, and you're going to drag it over here, and you're just going to click Starts in Main Deck. And this is where you can adjust the quantity of how many you want in that deck. So we got drag and drop over here to your main deck. Finally, you have your material deck, and then we don't really start with cards in our hand, at least not yet in Grand Archive. Same thing with Graveyard, Banish, Memory, and then below that is where you have your sideboard. Again, keep in mind that the Untap.in client is it's for many, many different card games. So, for example, it's going to let you, let's say I want to do Grand Crusader's Ring. We type this in. It'll let you add more than one to the material deck, right? You need to make sure when you're dragging cards over to the material deck that we're only adding one. And you can just click on this and click remove. Very, very, it's not going to be automated. Remember, this client is for many, many, many different types of card games. So we still need to make sure that when you're adding cards to the deck that you do understand the rules of the Grand Archive card game. Up to 4 per deck. It's not going to know any erratas or anything like that coming out. We want to make sure that you're adding, the corresponding cards. You'll see I got 14 cards in my material deck. Normally you can only have 12. However, I do put in my, you will see, let's see here, the Power Cell, which is a token, for example. Right now we don't have an area for our tokens. And then the same thing with the Spirit Fragment. Since those are cards that I'm going to need handy, I just keep those in my material deck. That is something that you can, put out at the beginning of the game. Your opponent will easily see that and they'll go, oh, okay, that's your Power Cell or what have you. So once you actually have your deck created, which again, really simple, card search, you're going to drag over to your search main deck and your material deck. Again, we won't need this other information. And then finally your sideboard, you're going to make sure you go up here and then you're going to click Save Deck. Now, you'll notice that I have card images for the back of my deck, right? You can get those features if you become a Patreon member for Untap.in, which I highly recommend. It's $5 a month. Again, I play many, many, many different card games on this client. I work from home, super easy. I can pull this up, play anybody that I want to, any card game all across the world. So love it. I highly recommend checking in and signing up to be a Patreon member because you get some really cool features, including that you can have unlimited decks and you can have a playmat, which you'll see once we pull up the Untap.in board here. So once we got the deck made, we're going to exit out of here. Make sure, again, up here, you click Save Deck. And then we're going to be able to start a game. So if you do have many different card games, like, you know, you're going to want to make sure that we're starting a game in GATCG, which stands for the Grand Archive TCG. So you'll see here any decks that you have made, right? We want to make sure that you have the GATCG here. And once you do that, you're going to be able to play games or you'll be able to watch games. Now, right now, there are no Grand Archive card games going on because it did just come on the client. But all you would do here is you just want to make sure you go to play, and then you're going to click New Game. Now, what's really nice about this is, let's say you want to take the time to learn the features of Untap.in, but you don't actually want to play anybody, you can go to solo. And if you do go to solo, it's going to allow you to basically play a game by yourself. So you could practice all these really awesome, you know, the neat features without holding anybody up like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? You can actually just kind of practice on your own, which is pretty neat. But otherwise, what you would do is you go to 2 players and you're going to see the different play styles here. Beginner, janky, relaxed, optimized, and competitive. What's really nice about this is this tells you, like, the player that you're looking to play, like, hey, you know, I'm really competitive in this game. I'm really good. I want to play competitive players. And then if you're a beginner just learning how to play the card game, you can go to beginner, and then other people around the world, they'll see you're a beginner, teach you how to play the card game, kind of learn some of the interactions, and really how to build really good decks. So I really like how they have this. Again, you should only be putting competitive if you really know the card game, you know the ins and outs, you know the triggers, you know everything. But yeah, you can choose between competitive. And then you want to make sure up here in the game title, this is where you want to be very clear that if you're going to be play testing spoiler cards, because there are some people that are practicing for like regionals where they don't want to actually, you know, play test any of the spoiler cards out yet. But if you do, this is where you'll put Grand Archive, you know, play testing spoiler cards, which at the time of this recording I actually do have spoiler cards. We're going to Grand Archive spoiler testing. What we'll do, we'll just start a solo match. We'll do, which is really cool, enable mirror play, which you can do that, or you can do deck versus deck. We'll just do enable mirror play, and then we'll go ahead and start the game. Once you do start the game, it'll pop up here. It'll just say your thing. It'll have your username up here, which you can add a picture, and then Bizarro, which is myself, because we did a mirror play, and then all you do is you just click enter game. Then this will be a list of your decks. You just choose the deck that you want to put in. You click this, click insert, and then you will see your board. Again, if you do want a playmat like how I have, this is something that you can add once you do have a Untap.in Patreon account, which I highly recommend all of you check out because it's totally worth it. You can put custom playmats and custom sleeves. So now that we have the board out, it's really quite simple. We'll see that we have our material deck here, which is, mine says 14 because I got the 2 tokens. And then finally we have our main deck, which is our 60 cards. So what you would do is if you want to put out your champion, you just click on this, and then you're just going to click on Find Card. This will give you a list of your cards down here. It'll all show up. What's really nice is you'll notice that the cards that are in your like, there'll be different colors, like you'll see that they're highlighted in blue. The cards that are in your material deck, which are really nice, that's how you can kind of separate them apart. But all you'll do, again, right there, and then you can bring out your champion. You just click and drag. So for example, I've got Fragmented Spirit of Fire, and then I'm going to put out my Spirit Fragment right here. Once we do that, we can click exit. Again, any card that you want to see, even on your opponent's board, all you got to do is highlight your mouse, or if you're on like your iPad or whatever, you just click on it, and then over there you'll see that it actually states the card and everything that it does. So once we have our Fragmented Spirit of Fire, we have that out. We have the Glimpse 6, Glimpse 6. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. You can either go like this and then go peep 6 cards. In this case, what I do is I actually just draw the 6. And what I do, when you draw the 6, it'll pop up right here, and it draws your 6 cards. So I have the 6 cards in my hand, which you'll see that I have some of the spoiler cards. For this game, let's see, I'm going to keep these 2, and then we're going to send these 4 to the bottom of my deck. So all you do is you just, again, click, and then you go send to main deck bottom. Okay? And you'll notice that there's some letters that are over here. You can actually, what's really cool is you can actually go over here under hotkeys, and you can bind these to hotkeys. So to make it even easier, you can just click on buttons, and then all you would do is you just click on here, the information, to actually change the hotkey, which is really, really cool. But without that, all you would do, again, right click here, and then we just go to send to, and we go to main deck bottom. So we're going to send these 4 to the main deck bottom because I'm hoping to get some arcane cards. So we'll see how that goes. So these go to the main deck bottom, and then we're going to go over here, and we're going to draw 4. Oh, wow. So 1 arcane card. So, not the best, but there we go. So let's say, again, we're just doing a hypothetical match, but let's say that I go second, right? So we'll go ahead, we will draw for turn. So again, you just right click over here to your main deck, and you just click draw 1 card. And now that we have our hand, I think we're gonna go ahead and we're just for the sake of the video, we're gonna play Creative Shock. So anytime you're going to play a card, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the card from your hand, you're going to take your mouse here, and you're just going to drag it out into play for Creative Shock. Now you'll notice over here, you have your Graveyard, Banished, and you have your Memory. When you're paying for cards, this is where you're going to put all your memory. So we're just going to go over here, and we're going to go 1, 2, let's do this one, and we'll go 3. Okay, so we're playing Creative Shock, so that allows us to draw 2 cards, so we can go over here and click draw 2. Oh, hey, I drew a dungeon guide. There we go. And then we can pitch one. So we'll pitch Spark a Light. So we'll put this down here over into the graveyard. And then we put this into the graveyard. Really simple. Just drag and drop everything that we need it to go. And let's say it goes and it's my opponent's turn. Now you're going to notice that it's showing the cards on top here. When you're playing your opponent, they're not going to be able to see these. This is just because it is like I'm playing myself. That is why it is showing these cards. So let's say my opponent does some damage to me. So it's their second turn, they do some damage. There's quite a few ways you can track damage, and right now, just because this is new with the Grand Archive community, there's no like set standard on how to track damage. There's a couple of easy ways to do it. Number one, you can go over here by your name, and you'll see like counters. You'll see 0 and 0. You can track damage with the white one by literally pushing the left mouse button to go up and the right mouse button to go down. So let's say if I take 2 damage, I could put 2 damage here, or I could put 3 damage here. You also could use this bottom counter as a counter. It could be, let's say you wanted to use it for your enlightenment counters, or there was something, some other counter that you needed to keep track of. You can also do that over here. The other way you can do it is you can actually insert you could put a counter on a card. So if you simply go over here and click right click, you can click add counter. And if you do that, you could do it that way as well. And it'll add a little counter. Same thing. Left button, go up. right button, go down. So really, different ways that you can go about tracking the counter. So let's say my opponent, they did some damage to me, and they did like 5 damage. So we'll keep it for the sake of the video. We'll keep the damage over here. Okay, so we'll go like this. Now we want to level up. We'll see over here in your memory, you're probably wondering how we can actually keep track of memory and how cards are randomly chosen in memory for Untap. Really simple. All you're going to do is you're going to click this button over here, and we want to make sure that we're clicking shuffle, right? You want to click shuffle, so that way it shuffles your memory random. And then after you do that, you're going to click right down here. You're going to go to draw 2, and then you're going to click 1 to the banished, right? So if we want to go to level 1, we're going to click 1 card to the banished. So make sure, again, you click shuffle first, and then we're going to go 1 to the banished summon. Okay, so we'll go just like this, and we'll go 1 to the banished. And wow, I hit my arcane card. Man, that was lucky. So then, after I do that, I put the other 2 cards in my hand. And then we got to level up our champion. So again, what we'll do is we're going to go to our pile here. We're going to go to find card. And we're going to go to our Rye level 1. So we're going to put Rye level 1 out here. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. Like, you can just put the Rye level 1 over your fire, your fragmented spirit of fire. If you do that, if you're doing it this and keeping track of damage and you're not doing that, it's kind of a pain, right? Because it goes over your counter. What you can do is you can actually take your mouse like so, highlight them, create a little square, right? And then you just click on this, and then you group the 2 cards together, right? And then when you group the 2 cards together like that, you just click on this little menu button here. You go to reveal all, because we want to reveal it to all players, right? Click on that, and then we put over here, because we want the level 1 to be on top. And then when you do that, there you go. Now you have your Rye level 1 right on top. We can do the same thing here. If we wanted to add counters to it, we can add counters. All that good fun stuff. So now we're the Rye level 1. Again, if we want to keep track of our enlightenment counters, we can either go down here and keep track of them here. Or, again, you just go right over here, and there will be an option right over here, right below where it says insert token. We just click counter. And when we do that, it'll add a little counter thing on our board. It says counter. And what we can even do is we can name this. Like we can go like this. And then we can change the label of it in light. And just click OK. So then that way, opponent can easily see the enlightenment counters and then go up and down. So it's this button right over here. And then if we want to remove it, we just click remove, or we can even change the color of it, right? Same thing. Now, let's say, again, for the sake of this video, just if we have an ally out and how we would attack with an ally. So let's say I'm a new player and we're going to play Dungeon Guide this turn. Obviously not the best play, but we're going to play Dungeon Guide this turn. So again, when I play Dungeon Guide, I got to pay 3 for it. So we're going to put 3 in the memory. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Once we do that, we're going to shuffle our memory. And you can do that a few times. You'll see over here in the chat window that it's been shuffled. And then you're going to choose 2 cards. So we're going to choose 2 random from our banishment. There we go. To go to level 2. And again, we go to our material deck, find card. It's going to pop up right down here. We're going to click our level 2, and we're going to put our level 2 in that pile. Now we have our level 2 that's on top. And there we go. So now that we're level 2, let's say we want to swing with our ally. All you're going to do when you want to swing is you're just going to double click it, which then rests the ally. So all I'm doing is double clicking. Then you can right click, and let's say we want to target the opponent's champion. All you do is you click this, you can click target source. And we'll just say that. Let's say I want to target the spirit fragment. That's all you do is you click on targeting the spirit fragment. Or you could put in the chat like what some people will even do. You can either do it that way, or you can just like, put in the chat that you're going to attack Rye or attacking Rye. Some people will like shake the card. Like you can click on it and click shake. There's tons of different ways that you can do it, because you may not always be on like a Discord chat. Some people, they don't want to actually talk over Discord. Some people just want to be able to do this directly online. But yeah, really easy to do. Again, you're just going to rest the card, and then you're going to do whatever you need to do there, attack the champion. Really, really easy once you start learning all the triggers. Again, I encourage all of you to do this in a solo session, just so you learn how to do everything. Again, really, really simple. Like you can shuffle, like right click over here, shuffle. You can, let's say you want to find a card in your deck, like there's a card you're going to be searching for, you can do that. Anytime you need to shuffle, it's right down here. You just click shuffle. Really, really simple. And then you'll notice over here some of the other buttons, just to kind of explain what they do. Like, let's say that there's a response that you have with somebody. Like, they're doing their play, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. You can click this button, alert response, and it lets your opponent know, hey, slow up. I have a response to what you're doing. Just hold on. And then if you don't have a response, you can just click here, click the no response. Another really cool feature is the draw on play area. So let's say I want to highlight a certain card. I can click this, draw on the play area, or if I want to point to a certain card, I can do that. And I can draw on my opponent's play area too. So if I want to draw over there, I can draw over there and say, hey, what does that card do? Or I'm attacking that card. You got the untap all button, so if you have multiple cards that are tapped, right, you can click untap all, so you can go about doing that. And finally, like at the start of the game, there's even a little dice counter over here on the left-hand side, so you can roll a d6, roll a d10, roll a d20, see, and then that'll pop right up. So it's really, really simple to play Grand Archive on Untap. Again, I encourage all of you, start a solo game. Start by yourself, learn all the features within Untap. Again, this video may be outdated watching this in the future, because there may be additional features added, but it's really, really simple. Again, if you want to like ungroup the cards, you can do this, right? So if you want to keep them separate, you can do that. So it's a lot easier for your opponent to see the cards that you have. Really, really simple to play on the Untap client. I, again, encourage all of you, start a solo game. Start a solo game, because then that way you can learn how to do everything. So then once you do play online, it'll be a lot easier and a lot more smooth. So I hope this video helped, and please reach out if you have any questions. I look forward to seeing you on the client, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Bye.